microphone. Testing. Can you guys hear me now? Yeah. Well, you guys can hear me, but you probably can't hear me as well as you should. Let me see if I can figure this out. I I don't know exactly what it is, but I recently upgraded to Windows 11. I wonder if that has something to do with it. It's just really annoying though. I don't fuck it. Let's see if I can't. Testing. Damn it, dude. What the fuck? Uh, maybe if I down. Yep. Okay. All right. Okay. You should be getting me in both. You should be getting me in both ears now. My understanding, at least my assumption is that I was my assumption is that excuse me, geez. My assumption is that you could only hear me in one ear. I would guess you could have only heard me in one ear until a second ago, but I fixed it. Anyway, geez, I talked for like 5 fucking minutes. I t- I talked for like 5 minutes before I noticed. I don't know if you guys sent me some stuff or if I just didn't see it, but I only noticed like a minute or two ago. But I'm glad you guys can hear me now. You didn't miss too much. I was just talking about like certain plans that I have in the future. Personal plans for me and jobs and stuff like that. And then also the stream that I did last week. I was saying that I'm not in love with the stream I did last week. It was not exactly it was not my best stream, that's for sure. And I appreciate everybody who showed up to it. I just This has taken less and less of a priority in my life because I have other more important things going on. And because of that, even when I try to put something together and plan it out and like put in some effort, the best I can do is half-assing it. And because of that, when it comes time, it sort of isn't as great as I want it to be. But um that is what it is. I've just been full speed ahead on trying to learn some new skills and stuff like that, that I'll be able to get some better jobs with. Because if there's one thing I need to do, it's stop working with my body, or at least working as much with my body as I do. It is not good for me. I should not be having the issues that I do at the age of 31. But anyway, I didn't say hello to everybody. So, hello, Zach. Hello, user BR5. Unfortunately, I don't know what your username is because it doesn't tell me usernames anymore for some reason. YouTube chat decided that it would become Twitter. What's going on? This is important. Andrew Mencenez. What is going on? Ryan Tucker as well. I hope we're all doing well. Yo, Scott, good seeing you on brother. Merry early Christmas. Merry early Christmas to you too, Mr. Tucker. What's going on, Big Uncle Ruckus? Hope you're doing well. Um, man, I've been getting into cybersecurity lately in hopes that I will be able to get a job in it. And I'm in the very very early stages. Even if and when I do get the certification that I'm working on, it doesn't mean I'm just gonna get jobs and stuff like that. I need to work on actual skills within the field of cybersecurity, and then I might even have to say fuck it and get like an IT, like a help desk type job or something like that. But I'm happy with the fact that I'm not as lost as I thought I would be. In fact, a lot of this stuff is stuff that I know and just from being around computers your entire life. Even if you're someone like me who like I don't fucking know anything about them. I put it in my head. I'm going to learn about these damn things, and hopefully I'll be able to make money off of that. We'll see, though. Um, oh man, excuse me, but yeah, I've just been so busy with other stuff lately. So I apologize for skipping the last two streams that I had. or that I typically would do. I typically would do a Friday and a Saturday stream, but they just didn't happen because I've just been so focused on other things, you know. It's sad because you know I really do love the hell out of this, but I mean I've said it for months now. Like there's a good chance next year. I don't mean like January 1st next year, but there's a good chance next year I probably won't be doing this, and you guys will have forgotten about me. You know, and I'll never forget you though. I'll never forget you. You know, I am I am old hat. The fish tank community has moved on, which believe it or not is a good thing. The fish tank community is not the greatest, you know. Um, but they've moved on. Except for the people on 4chan, those guys are all right, I guess. You know, fucking funny. At least they're funny. At least they're funny. You know, I'll say that much. Um, but yeah, like it just sucks because this was a big part of my life for a while, and this was the most successful YouTube project that I've ever done. I've had projects where I've tried my best to make them as big as I can. I've had projects where it's just for the you know shits and giggles. This one was the best one that I have had so far, and it's obviously because I was affiliated with Sam Hyde and MDE for a minute. But you know, I don't want to close the book, but also like, what am I gonna do? You know. I'm gonna be 35, trying to make it on YouTube. Fish Tank isn't even running anymore at that point. Um, I don't know. I guess we'll see though. I guess we'll see. Like the stream, guys. Yes, I would appreciate if you would like the stream. All right. Any tips to stay motivated? Been lazy lately and should be making my life better and working full time. What helps you stay busy? I mean, this is some of the most like this is some of your typical it's excuse me, jeez. It's your typical like alpha male red pill self-improvement. I was a Navy SEAL. I shot 5 civilians and now I'm here to tell my story. It's the most like that type of podcast advice to give somebody, but it is true. Motivation doesn't take you far. Motivation is a lie. You need discipline, you know. Whether you love it or hate it, whether you want to or not, you just got to get your ass out of bed and do whatever it is you got to do. Even if it's just to get it done so that you can get your ass back in bed, you know. And eventually, what'll happen is you will be so accustomed to it that when you skip it, you'll feel bad. You know, you'll be like, oh man, shit, fuck, you know. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, you know, just do whatever it is you got to do. Mental health is bullshit. You know, meaning mental health is very important. Actually, you know, I'm not of the I'm not of the camp that mental health is not important and that it's not something you should talk about or think about every now and again. But mental illness is not real. You know, you might have a manic episode, you might have an episode where you melt down or something like that, but that's just due to stress. That can happen to anybody who gets too stressed. You know, um, this idea that like, and I'm not saying this is true about you, Ryan, but like the idea that like, oh, I'm too sad to do this. It's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Mm-mm. Nope, that's not how that works. You know, call Seth. Call Seth. I don't have Seth's number. Wow, what's going on with him? Excuse me. Very true. I believe it takes 2 weeks to change a habit. Appreciate this advice, Scott. Yeah, it depends on the habit too. You know, like I ate some turkey for lunch, and I've had it fucking stuck in my teeth since then. And this is the first time I've gotten to sit down all day. Um, Jeez. Anyway, um, yeah, like cigarettes, all you need is 3 days. You know, that's a good example of a habit that doesn't even take 2 weeks. After that, it's all mental, meaning like you don't actually feel physical anything. You just kind of get it in your head, like, oh, dude, I want a cigarette. I need a cigarette. I'm gonna have a cigarette. You don't actually have nicotine withdrawals past 3 days, just about, you know. Don't tell anyone how you feel. Just tough that shit out. Yeah. I mean, I think you should be able to tell people how you feel. That's like excuse me. We as men, we get chewed up, we get spit out, we get abused by the world. And we have no friends. That's one thing. The next big feminist enemy is not going to be the blue-haired, um, ironic glasses wearing feminist. It's going to be the wannabe trad Christian woman. That's something that Pearl Davis gets extremely right when it comes to the whole gender wars shit, is that Christian women can't just sit down and shut up. They always got to try and browbeat you into being a certain way, you know? Um, it's not, hey men, like what's best for you? What do you need? How can we help you to how can we help you to live the lives that you need to live so that we can um live the lives we need to live? No, it's just, men, you need to do this, men, you need to do that. There's this chick, I think, like, she calls herself like the conservative millennial or something like that, and you can just see the snake in her eyes. Excuse me. She's got a weasel eyes. She's got a weasel look, and she's one of the big examples that you can take a look at. And it's just like, she'll get up in front of a crowd full of people, and without saying, "Hey, I think this is what women need to do," she'll say, "Here's what men need to do." All this, like, men need to be strong, we need you to be providers, you need to take leadership roles, blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, you know what happens if you take a leadership role at a company with a career climber woman? She finds a way to do the whole fucking character assassination thing to you that women do with each other, so that you don't get picked for a promotion at best, and instead she gets picked for it. At worst, you get fired and potentially sued or arrested for some kind of fucking false allegation. Women have taken control of the world, and the world is going to shit, right? But that's another conversation to be had. They took control of the world from men who were steering the world in the direction it needed to go. Again, another conversation to be had. They didn't ask nicely for it, and then men were like, "Yeah, sure, here you go. Here's the reins. Here's the reins. Here you go." That's not what happened. Fucking men were like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 hey, 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 no, no, I hold the reins. You can ride shotgun. I hold the reins, though." And when that happened, she enacted state violence on the man. You know, this isn't like, it's and again, like, I made a tweet about this a while ago, and this was partially kind of like low key addressed at like people like that star chick that I debated. Which, that was such an awful debate on my part. I did so bad. I was so rusty at being able to argue points and stuff like that, and yet I still won. Even her chat was like, "Nah, nah, Star, you don't know what you're talking about. You're losing." Blah blah blah. That's literally what they did. They typed blah 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 blah. Anyway, but yeah, oh yeah, a lot of people cannot grasp timelines beyond about 6 months to a year, and that's one of the many lists, or that's one of the many pieces of criteria. That's one of the many criteria that I will judge somebody by when it comes to whether or not I feel they're worth listening to. Is, can you look all the way back to like 2009, 2010, 2011, when MRAs were still around, and they were just trying to have meetings to just discuss, "Hey, we want access to our kids. That's all we want. Like, fine, you don't want to be with us. We're not going to force you. Here, have the divorce, but let me see my kids." When MRAs were having meetings to try and discuss like ways that they could steer society to make it a little bit more fair towards fathers, there were women and fucking effeminate men out there spitting on them and like pulling fire alarms. Basically, like, the like proto Antifa stuff is what was going on. That was disgusting to see. And it didn't get any better over the years. It only got worse and worse and worse and worse, culminating with Me Too, which we all know was a witch hunt. A witch hunt that was basically a color revolution in disguise, a gender color revolution in disguise to take as many men out of positions of power as they possibly could and replace them with the ladies. Um, and then that is around when Andrew Tate really started to get big. The red pill existed way before Andrew Tate, but it was like MRAs, MGTOW, PUA. There's a few different kinds of guys. And then you have Andrew Tate, who, like, he kind of is like the evolution of PUA, I guess you could say. Most of the old guard PUA guys, they became actually like trad Catholic, Orthodox guys. They actually they started espousing Christianity, which is kind of funny. But um, Andrew Tate was somebody who kind of like carried the torch for the PUA side of the red pill. MRAs are fucking gone now. They got false allegated. They got falsely accused into oblivion, and now they just don't exist. You had MGTOW, who, I mean, it's being MGTOW is a lot like being gay. You don't reproduce. You have to recruit. And if people are not interested in that lifestyle, it's not gonna happen. you know and then you have, like I said, those PUA guys. But like, that is where Andrew Tate came from, for instance, just to use like the gender war thing as an example. Andrew Tate didn't spring up out of the ether because he just decided, and men decided, you know what, we're just gonna stop respecting women for no reason. That's not where he came from. He came from years of seeing men demonized just for having dicks, especially teenage men. Like, I was actually talking to my wife about this last night. No male is hated more than the teenage male, the male that needs absolutely positively the most help and the most validation and the most um I almost said soft but firm. It's like cold but hot. The most firm but understanding and patient guidance. The males who need all of that are the ones who are hated the most by society, and that means everybody, including even other dudes. And it's so disgusting. There's this kid at my gym. I guess I don't want to tell too much of his story, but like, I guess he's kind of going through it right now, maybe, possibly. I was talking to his mom about it, and she doesn't realize that she's riding his ass. And I kind of tried to, like, yeah, I tried to just suggest that to the best of my ability. I tried my best to just kind of like roll it. What's going on, Cherry Blossom? How you doing? Um, roll it in there. Roll it in there. Not whip it at her head. Just roll it. Just gently toss it over to her. I tried my best to gently tell her, "Hey, nobody cares about your son except you. So you got to be really careful not to make your son's life all about you and what you want and how you feel and what you're afraid of. Be an advocate for your son." And I would like to believe she got it, but I also don't know if she did. And it kind of makes me nervous. And I'm gonna try my best to kind of like slide in and be like, like an older brother figure to this kid, however I can. But it's tough to know how I can without it being weirdly inappropriate. Where it's like, I let a swear word go, and then he comes home and he says it too, and his mom's like, "Where did you get that?" The kid's like 14, 15. It's not like he's 7, but you get the point, right? I don't want to say something too based and red pilled, and then he goes home and says it, and his mom's like, "What the hell? Where'd you learn that?" Um, but yeah, like his mom is talking to us, and it's not like I'm not hearing like little Timmy, he, little Timmy. I'm hearing I, me, we, my husband, his teachers, his school, the baseball team, me. I'm hearing about everybody except him. And the only time she's speaking about him is to talk about how much of a disappointment he's being right now. And it's like, man, it's not even her fault, you know? She just doesn't get it. She cares, but she's smothering. She's choking in a certain way. And I tried to kind of let her know, not like you're fucking smothering them, but I tried to be like, hey, like, here's what my parents did. Here's how that fucked me up. You know, I tried my best to be that way about it. And it makes me sad, man. It makes me really sad, you know, like people just don't give a fuck about men, and it really is just terrible, you know. This is the worst. Mang, he ain't him, but he's him. But that fucked up. I'm confused what you mean, BGM. Cody Rhodes debate. Oh boy. Don't tell anyone how you feel. Just tough that shit out. That feel when no Brazilian girlfriend to chew me out every day. Nah, my wife's pretty chill. Honestly, my wife does not like to talk about anything. The second you try and discuss something with her, she just doesn't want to. And it leaves me in a situation where I end up talking too much, you know. I end up being the one who's like over explaining, I'm oversharing, I'm over everything is what I'm doing. And it's not good. And on one hand it's like, okay, maybe I should talk less, but on the other hand it's like, no, she needs to speak more, you know. Um that's just a reality of communication, is that when you're a good communicator, you cannot expect everybody around you to also be good at communication, because they have their ways of coping with things, and maybe it works for them but it might not work for you, you know. And if you're gonna make other people shoulder your burden, you got to be able to like fucking you got to be able to do it their way, you know. A lot of people like literally most people are too stupid and too self-centered to appreciate and to reciprocate proper communication, you know. Eh, most people are simply too selfish. They are too petulant to recognize the root of a problem and attack the root of the problem so that we can come to a conclusion that benefits both sides, you know. It's just it doesn't work, you know. And that's also another criteria that I judge people by, and that is one of the criterias that filters most people, you know. If I'm going to open my mouth to say something, which I don't do very often outside of this and when I'm talking to my wife, you can ask her. I never shut up. But if you look at me on, say, like Fish Tank, right? I'm not constantly fucking talking all the time unless I have to, unless there's a situation that requires it, you know, like I'm teaching a class or something. Um, it's what's going on? Anyway, it's it filters the most people, you know. It filters the most people. If I'm gonna say something and 2 words into my sentence you're gonna cut me off, try and finish the sentence for me, and then answer, it's like, nah, nah, I'm not interested in you. Not only do I not want to be around you, but I think you are probably not good at anything and you just fucking suck. you you just suck ass if you can't listen to people, you know? I've never I've never met I've never met like a legitimately functional person. Like you can be successful at your job, but on an interpersonal level, you can be an absolute fucking annoying autist. Or vice versa. On an interpersonal level, you might, you know, get along fine, but like you can't hold down a job because you just suck that bad. I've never met a functional person who is like a bad communicator, you know? And there's a lot of people out there who are not functional. They're just barely scraping by and they don't even realize it, you know? Um, Try using a toothbrush. It helps me when I have steak or chicken. Make sure you sanitize afterwards. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's fine. You know, it's fine right now. Thank you for the tip though. You know, Juan Guzman. Uh, do you think effective communication has been sullied by social media or the internet in general? I mean, that is definitely a contributing factor. There is no doubt. Um, I think people are just a little bit more self-centered. I mean, a lot of bit more self-centered. I think people are a lot a bit more self-centered than they used to be. And like that's not like I was born in the wrong generation thing. People have always fucking sucked. It's just the way it is since the time of the Bible, right? People are just trash, but it has not gotten better as time has gone on, you know. The boomers didn't grow up with the internet. They didn't grow up with social media, you know. That's just an example. All right. Anyway, I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do today. I gotta be honest with you guys. I might, you know what? It's been a while since I played AOE on a stream. I think it's about time I play some AOE again. I'm hoping that it's gonna work though, because like I said, I upgraded to Windows 11, and Windows 11 has been kind of trash. Well, Windows 11 itself has not been trash necessarily. What is trash though is Streamlabs kind of fucking up. Like again, my yeah, like my audio input capture, you know. I try to show. Hold on. Excuse me. There we go. One sec. I should be good here, right? So what I'm gonna do. Sorry about that. Copy. Can you guys hear me? You guys should be. Yep. You can hear me. Okay. Oh, damn. I've been playing Vampire the Masquerade Blood games. Blood, blood games. Fuck, man. I've been playing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is what I've been playing. Honestly, really good game. I've got to say. I am surprised it did not do better than it did sales wise. Yeah, there's some warts, but the story is fun. The world is fun. It would have been nicer if it was a little bit more open. You had a little bit more choice, but I can't wait to play it again. I played it as damn, I don't even remember what I played it as. I didn't play as a Ventrue. I didn't play as a Malkavian. Um, damn, damn. Fuck. You see, what I played as didn't really come into like it didn't really matter that much. You know what I played as. Like I didn't get anything extra special. At least I don't think I did. Um, there we go. Anyway, um, I have I can't wait to play again as a Malkavian though. You know, is what I'm trying to say. Because I hear the Malkavian playthrough and the Nosferatu playthrough, but especially the Malkavian playthrough is is very entertaining. It's very fun. Right now, I moved on to Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic though, and I gotta be honest with you. I feel like if I give it enough of a try, I will come around, but I'm not loving it right now. I don't love automated combat, you know. Even if it's like Fallout 1 or Fallout 2 where like these Fallout games were basically point and click adventures, you know. Stream the Trump declaration of war happening now. What are you talking about? What what you talking about, Rusty? Is there is Trump declaring war on somebody? I hope it's Brazil. Oh, hey Sensei Scott, have you ever collabed with Oddbot? I feel like you guys have a lot of similar perspectives, especially on life. Yeah, I wouldn't mind collabing with Oddbot, you know? It's like I said though, like my issue right now is not that I don't want to do things, it's that I simply don't have the time or the energy, you know? And if I'm gonna be the one who has to herd cats, it's just not gonna work out. I really if I'm gonna collab with anybody, it needs to be like a like I get brought on to a stream to do something, you know? Like I just don't have the time or the energy, you know? It's unfortunate, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Can you guys hear the gameplay? No, you cannot. There we go. At least you got a little bit of something. Ah, this feels weird. I'm keeping pace with this guy, though. Apparently, he's making an announcement at 9 p.m. Speculators say it's declaring war on Venezuela. It's going to be a short fucking war, then. Shit. Guys want to go to Venezuela, get some war brides? You know, like... Alright, we're good. Venezuela's been a problem since... Venezuela's been some kind of problem. I don't know what kind of problem since his first presidency. I can remember there being like a like a coup to remove Maduro that failed. I can remember that. Two, three. Five. Oh, geez, really? Two of these bad Larrys? You know, like, I'm not a war hawk or anything like that, but also, like, there's gonna be a lot of people out there who, it's like Nick Fuentes types who, it's not about what's good or bad for us and our interests or anything like that. It's just like, oh, well, I decided I don't like Trump anymore, therefore, this is bad. You know, I'd rather us not go to war. I'd rather us focus on ourselves. But as much as isolationism sounds like a good idea, it's not. And it's next to impossible. It doesn't work like that. Especially nowadays, we live in a world that's a little bit too interconnected, a little bit too, and I don't just mean like, oh, China makes all our stuff. That's not even what I mean. What I mean is, if we aren't willing to play the global game, Russia and China are going to get stronger, and they're going to challenge our hegemony. It's just the way that it is, you know. It's one of those, you can deal with it now via diplomacy, or you can deal with it later with war. And I would rather invade Venezuela now so that we don't have a Russia ally on our side of the world, you know. Um, so like I said though, I'd rather not go to war in any capacity. Oh, damn it. I'd rather not go to war in any capacity, but like I'm just playing, if anything, I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate where it's like, you know, like look, let's if there's one thing I've grown tired of being on Twitter, it's seeing uh dog piles of any kind where it's like people just doom for the sake of dooming. And that's what I feel like it is a lot of the time. A lot of these dudes are just they're just fucking they're just annoyingly doomerish is really what it is, you know. This guy's about to whoop my ass, I bet. I just saw his score go down just a little bit too. That's not a good sign. He might already be up to whatever it's called. Scott X Irate Gamer collab, hell yeah. Oh shit. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing here. Well, too much to exactly, you know. I'm tired of seeing Nick Fuentes like just constantly be a fucking Debbie Downer about everything. I'm tired of I'm tired of I'm tired I'm tired fucking A. I'm tired of seeing both sides. Like the I can remember with the whole Epstein files thing, like there was a guy who was like, "Look, the boss said, hey, look, I'm tired of this Epstein shit. The boss said, forget about it. So you forget about it. Get it?" Like, I literally, a dude, unironically, boy, I'm fucked. Nah, you know, fuck it. Oh, no, not that one. I want to mute him. And block him. Anyway. Yeah, like, I'm just tired of both sides where it's like this is one of the reasons I got out of politics, you know, is that it's not a game of like, hey, here's what is going to be the best for our nation so that we can have kids and those kids won't grow up getting jumped by a bunch of ethnic people at school and then coming home and the only thing I can tell them is, well, did you try not being racist? Fucking um like instead of it being that, instead of it being like, hey, let's have a functioning nation that does well, what you get are these pundits, Nick Fuentes included, who they're boomers or doomers. And when I say boomer, I don't mean baby boomer. I mean like you know, five big boomers, right? Either A, everything Trump does is great, or B, like, it's over. It's never been more over. You fell for it again. I didn't fall for it again, though. Haha, you suck. I'm just tired of that because those people are two sides of the same coin. It's about their ego and about them trying to monetize catastrophe. You know, either A, no, like we made the right choice, haha, don't worry, don't doom, it's gonna be fine, or it's just annoying, you know, it's just annoying, is what it is. It's like it's not even it's not even worth like talking or paying attention to these people because they're nothing, you know. Even Fuentes, if I'm being honest with you, he's kind of a political nothing. He's got a lot of clout. The reason he's got a lot of clout is because zoomers are all they want to hear, specifically right-wing zoomers, is actually white people are good. It just is what it is, you know. Fuentes is not really that interested in fixing things. He's just interested in being right so that he can say that he was right, and so that he can turn around and be like, "You see guys, I was right. Give me more money. Support me." You know? And then you have other people who, like, you know, they're more the garden variety conservative, the grunt style, black rifle coffee, this ain't your dad's conservatism kind of fucking shit. You know, those guys too. All of them. No pundit today is any good. No pundit today really 100% believes what they're saying all the time. No pundit today is not trying their hardest to monetize your feelings, you know? And it's just dumb. It's just dumb. I'm tired of it, you know? When you ignore shit, you realize how little it actually matters and how it's not even really that true in the first place. You know, it's like my wife. You know, my wife is she's a oh, interesting, nice. My wife is a she's an immigrant, right? Um, excuse me. Sorry, I gotta. I wanna. Sorry, I saw something interesting that I wanted to. I saw something interesting that I wanted to read, but um, I blanked on what I was talking about exactly. Oh yeah, yeah. My wife is a recent immigrant, right? She came here in 2020, and she just got her citizenship this year, so she's safe. But naturally, she knows other people who came here and they are immigrants, and I mean, everybody she knows is legal, but they are not citizens yet. They have green cards, and my wife for like a month or two was like, they're arresting they're arresting people with green cards, and it's like, yeah, and they're letting them go. They they're putting them in places, and maybe they're bringing them to like fucking maybe they're bringing them to detention facilities, but when the paperwork gets sorted out, they're going. They're free to go. You have not heard of anyone who has a green card getting sent back, a valid green card. You haven't heard of that. But my wife, being someone who is of that community, she was listening to other people of that community, and she's sitting here like, what if this person gets taken, what if that person gets taken, oh no, but like they're doing it though, they're doing it. I literally had to tell her, yo, this is my country. I don't want to fucking hear it. I get it, I understand why you feel that way. It's not true, you're listening to morons, but I don't want to hear it. And she stopped paying attention. And like a few weeks ago we were talking, and she's like, "Yeah, actually I stopped paying attention and I realized it doesn't fucking matter. It literally, like, it's not nearly as bad as people think it is." It's I don't know anybody who has been taken. Nobody at all. I don't even know anybody who knows anybody that I know who has been taken. I don't have friends of friends who have been taken. It's not even that bad. Which, if you're one of the send them all back people, if you're one of the remigration now people, that probably grinds your gears, right? But that's not even the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is, like, if you fucking ignore this shit, you realize it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, yeah, sure. There's some things you got to be really careful of. You know, you don't want to end up like the next Arena Zarutska, okay? But you don't need to know about every Arena Zarutska that happens. You don't need to know about every single time a black dude gets away with stabbing a white dude because he said the N word after he got stabbed and thought he was gonna die. You know, you don't need to know about every single one of those. Once you hear about the first one, you know what time it is. You can move on with your life with that in the back of your head. You don't need it at the front of your mind. You don't need it in your eyeballs all the fucking time. You know. Um, Speaking of war here in the UK, they keep talking about a potential war with Russia, and they expect British people to fight after destroying patriotism. Yeah. Oh yes, maybe they can get some of the immigrants to fight. You know, maybe they can get some of the immigrants they brought in to replace you guys to fight. You know, it's funny. It's funny how the English just love their plantations. They love that Ulster plantation shit. They even did it with they even did it with Trump announcement today. I'm just curious.
Getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost. On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon.
Not mine. I paid $3 a gallon the other day.
And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't
be... You see, here's the thing as well about Trump, right? I don't want to talk over him too much, but like in his defense, it hasn't even been a year yet. In a little bit over a month, it will have been 1 year. And really, if we're gonna judge the Trump presidency, we should probably at least wait until 2.5, 3 years in. We should probably give the dude a little bit of time. I know it feels like it's been forever. It really feels almost like Trump never left office in a certain sense, even though he did. There was a black cloud over the United States when Joe Biden got sworn in, and it didn't leave for 4 years. And like, I don't know what it was, but you know, regardless, like, it feels like it's been 5 fucking years, but it hasn't even been 1 year. You know, you gotta give the dude a little bit more time, if we're being honest here.
In American history, a major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border. The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans. In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to
people are donating to the Associated Press. People are donating to Associated Press just to say things in the chat. That is insane. Why would you donate to fucking AP?
Cheat the system and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where
Scott, you need
Somalians
viewership
have
like
taken
that.
over the
AP
economics of the
115K.
state and have stolen billions and
Oh,
billions
even
of
more.
dollars from
Even
Minnesota
more.
and indeed from the
235,000.
United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it for so long as before my election. The vast
So this, if this was a war declaration, that would be he wouldn't start it out with that, you know. Oh, would you look at that? That's funny. I'm curious about this. Hold on. I like this game. It's a little bit it's a little bit it's a little bit tedious to play though, you know. I'm always waiting for it to get good, but I don't think it's going to get good. I should probably just bite the bullet and start playing Hold Fast. You know. That seems like the better choice. The thing is, I like that game because it's first person. Hold Fast. I don't know if you can play first person, but you know, I always see it in third person. The despot's heel is on thy shore, Maryland, my Maryland. We'll play another game or two, you know. It's a nice little warm-up game. All right. Yeah, I'm so unused to I'm so not used to playing this anymore that when I go to put my fingers in you know the resting position on the keyboard, I go to WASD. I don't do QWER anymore. Dopa fiend. Ugh. I want to make sure I get at least one win today, so if I'm locked in right now and not doing a ton of talking, that's why. That's why. I'm also just kind of tired. Yeah, so. Oh, no, I'm gonna go over there. You fucking idiot, get over there. There we go. that's... There we go. Yeah, I think I'll get this guy if I can keep pace with him. The thing about the Britons is that they have really good archers. You know, the Brittonic archers. So that is going to be bad for me if it comes down to it, you know. If he can get enough of them out. My Rams will protect my Woad Raiders, but only to a point, you know. If I can just get close enough, I can rush his archers. No, actually, wait a second. Alright, we're in good shape. We're not doing terrible. You know, fuck that. I'm gonna send them there. Just get them out of the way. Oh, no, wait. Silly me. Want to get as much food at one time as I can. I kind of fucked that up a little bit. I meant to put it around there or right there. Either one. Either way. Oh, man. There we go. Oh, wait. Fuck. I forgot about that. Oh, damn it. I'm not even close to feudal age right now. I don't even have crazy downtime compared to what I used to have. I'm just like, I play slower now, you know? I don't have the muscle memory like I used to, so because of that, I'm just kind of fucked. You know, I mean, shit, what you gonna do? You know, even the way that I'm playing the build is like not exactly the greatest. I could do better. You know, like I used to pull people off of the boar to get the deer in a certain way that actually made sense. It wasn't just haphazardly like sending them here, there, everywhere, you know. You know, I won't quit if he hits castle before me this time though, you know. It's just I was just like, nah, that ain't gonna work, you know. He's gonna have gunpowder right away. That's the last thing I need. Actually, no, fuck that. And then get your asses back over there. I need a little bit more food, and I'll be in good shape. He's probably already like on his way up though. Is the issue? That's the thing that sucks. And then I'm also my castle. I won't be able to build a castle. What's going on, Clint Eastwood? Excuse me. How you doing today? So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna send them over there. Anyone I create is gonna get sent over there. You know what? Fuck it. That way at the very least. So I'm not going to be able to build a castle most likely. Instead, what I'm going to have to build is I'm gonna I'm not going to have any offensive anything that I can build right away. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and win the relic battle. If I can win the relic battle, that's usually a pretty good predictor as to whether or not I'll be able to. Ooh, I don't like that score. It's usually a pretty good predictor as to whether or not I'll do well because I rely so much on relics for the way that I play. You know, if I can get those relics, it's hard for me to lose. Specifically, if I can get like a majority or all of them, it's very hard for me to lose because like I could just keep buying more food or more whatever. Need less people on gold in the first place. I can put more of them on here. That's kind of why I have 10 people on stone, is because I'm trying to mine as much as I can so that I can have that happen real quick, All right, boys. Now I'm going to get as close as I can to... I'm going to get as close as I can to his walls. If at any point he hits... Whatever. If at any point he hits castle, I'm just gonna stop. Oh, dude, are you kidding me? I gave up these. I didn't know I had. See, I don't even know. I don't even remember how many. Oh, jeez, what am I doing? Actually, you know what? I will here. I didn't even know I had those. Alright. I'm not doing bad. I don't love the fuck out of this though, that's for sure. He might have a castle like ready to go. If that's the case, I'm not in the greatest of shape. Whatever. I can't take any time to even wait for those rams. If he went yes. That's not the worst thing that could have happened, I guess. Yep. I'm not saying it's in the bag yet. He might be scrappy. Anyway, that's exactly why I stopped playing this, because I can't help but talk shit. Anyway. I got him. Oh, wait, what am I doing? So we're 1-1 on the day. It's pretty good, I suppose. Hold on, I gotta check something as well. This one right here. Yes. All right. I got Confederate money recently. I got a Confederate $5 bill. I tried to get a Mississippi $100 bill. But they only had copies, which was kind of annoying. Oh, excuse me. So ones that weren't authentic. And I want coins. But the problem with the coins is that I guess there's just no Confederate coins around, or if there are, they're like mad money. I guess what happened, excuse me. Oh wait, actually, let's check here. So what happened with Confederate coins was for the most part, they got melted down after the war for the metal that they were made with. But the dyes that were used to strike the coins, to mint the coins, I guess those got saved. They also got melted down, but there was a guy who saved a few of them. And he did restrikes in like the 1870s. So these coins are actually really old. They are from the 1800s. They're just not from the 1860s. So they're not. They wouldn't have. I would prefer a circulated coin in this case. Typically the money in collecting any kind of coins or anything like that is in what's it in? It's in uncirculated bills or coins. Oh. Got him. That's where the money is in coinage, though, in currency and stuff like that. Is in uncirculated bills or coins, or sometimes you have one that even if it's circulated because of a certain defect or like a certain quirk in the making of the coin, you have oh yeah, silly me, I done goofed. First off, I might as well build a couple of these. I need to set up a wall. I don't have a wall set up. This guy doesn't have a wall set up either, I don't believe. I might have walked right into his place, but then again, I might not have. This might just be a random patch of berries. Yeah, that's just a random berry patch. Anyway. Yep, I'm fucking up in the game right now. Oh, would you look at that? Would you fucking look at that? He's gonna lose a Vil too. There's no way he's not gonna lose that Vil. What a dummy. Boy, is this guy stupid. You big dummy. He lost his scout, and then he lost a fucking Vil. I don't know what he was trying to do with that Vil. Maybe it looks like maybe he was trying to kill any hares or maybe zebras that were around. Maybe that. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. He thought he was going to come in here and he was going to kill those guys, which, I mean, that may have succeeded, but it wouldn't have succeeded enough for him, you know? That's a bitch move. That is one of those moves that makes me mad about this game sometimes when people are playing like that. There's just something inherently dishonorable about it, you know? It's unsportsmanlike is what I used to describe it as. And again, that's part of the reason why never mind. Bad game. Bad game. That is legit one of the things that I couldn't stand about this game as to where I stopped playing it on stream for you guys is because I just like it just makes me mad seeing people play in ways that are like that, you know? It's just foolish to me. This game's always such fun. Yeah, it is fun. It just gets unfun. What the fuck is graveyards? Whatever. Whatever. We'll fucking play it. But. Oh, son of a bitch. I would have picked something else if I could have. I'm working on a video. This will be the first video that I've done in a while. Sorry, one sec. I'm working on a video on FSU, which is a hardcore crew, right? The hardcore community, you know, punk rock community as well. Hardcore sprung out of the punk community. They have a habit of forming groups within their little scene. Skinheads do the same thing. And instead of them being called gangs, they might be called social clubs or just crews or something like that, right? And that's what FSU is. It's a hardcore crew. If you call them a gang, they'll be like, "No, dude, we're just a group of guys watching each other's backs." And no, they're a gang. But you know, whatever. Fucking, we'll use their terminology to describe them. It's like skinhead gangs, like Vinlander Social Club. They call themselves a social club so that they don't get called a gang by law enforcement. And it does work in a sense, but I mean, you know, the SPLC, let's say, will classify them as a gang, and then law enforcement will accept their classification and treat them as such. Is kind of the thing that happens. But I'm working on a video about FSU. It's a very interesting topic to me because it is a homegrown gang from Boston that broke containment, and it's not nationwide. It's more like an East Coast thing. And to my understanding, the guy that I speak to who kind of has his finger on the pulse of what's going on right now in the world of, like, you know, music, because he's a big music guy. I guess FSU is making a comeback. What happened was years ago. Damn, what the fuck? Oh shit, I don't have. Oh, damn it. What am I doing? That's what I'm doing. Anyway. Oh, but first. Sorry, as usual, I'm, you know, I can talk or I can play. Anyway, FSU as hardcore music hardcore music was always underground, but especially as the youth, because there was a period of time where like you just saw less and less appreciation for like rock and roll or metal based music. As the youth kind of stepped away from that, you know, you had like 10, 15, 20 years where rock and roll was like really on a decline. Um, you just saw less and less people who were interested in that kind of thing. It doesn't mean that FSU wasn't around. It just means that it was kind of like a shadow of its former self. But now you're seeing FSU kind of make a comeback. And if not FSU, then groups that are kind of modeled after or in the spirit of FSU. And I find that to be interesting. And the guy that I'm talking to, the guy that the guy that I have as a contact who has his finger on the pulse, he was around when FSU first got started. Um, Before they adopted the whole like gangland, like, oh, actually we're called Friends Stand United, and we just stop people from doing drugs because drugs are bad, and oh, also we fight Nazis, haha, we punch Nazis. Before they became that, they were something completely and totally different, according to this guy who I trust because he's. Where is. Damn, I have not been. Wow, whoops. Um, this is crazy. This is kind of bad. This is kind of bad. There's no way I'm gonna win this one. Oh, especially he's Huns. He doesn't need fucking. He doesn't need houses. This guy doesn't need houses because he's Huns. I'm fucked. You know. This is exactly where you would want to play as the Huns in a game like that. You know. But yeah, that's a video I'm working on. It's going to be an AI video, meaning like, you know, I have to type stuff out. I'm going to have to do a little bit of editing for the video, but I am excited to kind of do it. It'll be the first video I've done in a long time. It doesn't mean I'm going to be like doing tons of videos again. It just means what's going on, Holy Clown. Yeah, it doesn't mean I'm doing tons of videos again or anything like that. It just means that got him. Got him. It just means that I have a video that I am, you know, halfway passionate about, that I am Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What the fuck? How is this dude? How did that happen? How the fuck did that happen? Fucking forget about it, dude. Oh, here. Yeah, there's no way I'm winning this one. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. I just got dizzy out of nowhere. What the fuck? Oh, shit. Yeah, this guy's getting, you know what? Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah, he was gonna fucking feudal rush. Whatever. I've never played this map before, so it's like I'm just like, yo, what is even going on with it? Anyway, yeah, like I'm excited about that video because it's a video that is interesting to me, and it doesn't mean I'm gonna be like doing videos regularly again. It's like I said, chances are next year, at some point next year, I'm probably done with this. You know, I'll probably just whether I won't disappear on you guys. I'll do like a one last hurrah stream that'll probably get like 10 views total, you know. Probably. I'm having trouble breaking 100 total views on my stuff right now. Um, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, um, like I am excited about some of the stuff that I plan on doing in the meantime, and I'm not completely and totally done with creative stuff. I have considered not necessarily rebranding, but shifting into essay style content. I've considered that because essays are really easy to make for me because all I have to do is record audio and then I can have somebody else edit the video for me. I got to pay for that obviously, but like whatever, you know. If I can if I can get a situation where I can do that, it's not going to be like Turkey Tom video essays. Honestly, I used to watch Black Pigeon Speaks back in the day, which I feel like he's probably cringe at this point. But there was something about his essays that I liked. I just liked them. I'm thinking more along the lines of stuff like that. But not exactly like that. It's something I've toyed around with here and there, but it's not something I'm like super serious about. So I'm 1-2 on the day right now. Let's see if I can finish it off with a 2-2. Let's see if I can go two. Oh wait, whoa, wait a second. I would rather play on just about any of these except that one. That one was weird and a little bit annoying. Man, there's a lot of shitty maps here, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the future holds. But yeah, this video about FSU I think is going to be really good because if there's one thing I kind of get annoyed by, it's like, well, I mean everybody gets annoyed by it. It's propaganda, you know. That's what Gangland was. It was propaganda, and they may have been taken for a ride and they didn't even realize it, you know. The guy specifically Elgin James, he's not a dummy, you know. He was probably smart enough to be like, look, we fought a lot of skinheads. Why don't we just say we fought neo-Nazi skinheads? The fact about FSU is that they didn't actually care what kind of skinhead you were. They just didn't like you, you know. And then they said, "Oh well, actually we're anti-drug. We're a good influence on the kids. Haha. That's what we are. We're a good influence on the kids. We just don't want drugs in our scene, man." Their fucking leadership was selling drugs. They were just trying to corner the market. That's that's what that was, you know. Most of their leadership is dead from drugs. So what does that tell you? Oh, uh-oh. Got 4. All right, I think we're in good shape here. shit. I keep forgetting I gotta build these first, and then I can build you know, that. Keep building that mill, I suppose. I might as well, right? Trump announces Blood Games 2. Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I hope Blood Games 2 happens, but I'm not hopeful, you know. Apparently they're casting for season 5. That's cool. I just don't I mean, maybe a .5 season will happen, but I probably won't be involved. They probably don't even know I exist until I pop up on their screen if they like check something of mine on like Instagram or something. You know, and I'm not oh, there we go. I'm not about to wait a second. There we go. I'm not about to be the guy that's like every 10 minutes, dude, Blood Games, dude, Blood Games, dude, when's Blood Games happening? Is Blood Games happening? Dude, Blood Games? You know, I checked in with somebody a week ago or something like that, maybe 2 weeks ago, just out of curiosity, mainly because I couldn't get in touch with Xavier. Xavier's MIA. I have no fucking clue what's going on with that guy, and nobody does. You know, you can't find him anywhere. He probably was just like, whatever, fuck it. You know, let me know. Let me know when. Other than that, I'll just do my thing. You know, but like it just is what it is, you know. It's unfortunate the way everything went down. Wish it didn't go that way. And you know, oh well. If Blood Games 2 happens in the form that it's supposed to happen in, I guess you could say, or in the form it was supposed to happen in, then I guess you'll see me there. You know, I'll fucking there we go. You know, I'll hit them up and be like, all right, let's go. But you know, other than that, I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. It's unfortunate. Sometimes good things go bad or they just don't happen the way that they were supposed to. So he's got Magyars, which have really good axe throwers, which is a pain in the ass because they also have really good cav. They have really good cavalry, you know. The Magyars are kind of OP at this point. The Swaggyars. Haha. Shit. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Bang bang. Then you here. Dude, get over there. Again, kind of locked in. I apologize. I'm sorry. All right. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where you going? Where you going, city boy? You get 4 deer. He's not even a feudal age yet, and I'm already on my way up to castle. This is not good for him. This is most certainly not good for him. I don't know what he could possibly be doing that would keep him down there for that long in a way that, like, I'm going, you know, at the current rate, I'm going to be two fucking, not spaces, whatever it's called, ahead of him. Two ages, excuse me, ahead of him. What are your thoughts on the Brown University thing? You know, years ago when I was in activism, we used to talk every now and again, and it's not like we're fucking like psychic for knowing this. Obviously it was always going to get to this point. And look, I don't know we don't even know who the shooter was yet, technically. Not even technically, like literally, we just don't know who the shooter is. They haven't caught the shooter yet, which is really strange. All right, we're good now. Then he's gonna go there. Anyway, we don't even know who the shooter is, to my understanding. We don't know exactly what the motive was, but I do think it is interesting that of all people to get shot, it is the leader of the Young Republicans. And I don't know for sure, but I feel like I heard somewhere that there may have been some kind of gathering or meeting that she was a part of at that point. Um, it's really unfortunate. It's really frustrating no matter who gets killed in a situation like that. But I think it is probably telling that one of the people who died was a confirmed member and leadership role within Brown's Young Republican group. We used to talk about it a long time ago. Like I said, it's not like we're visionaries or like we know something that other people don't. But we knew that we were going to get to the point where punch Nazis turned into kill Nazis. Because if you want to silence your political opposition, you don't do that via what could be considered paltry violence. And punching someone in the head, truthfully, is not paltry violence, but the way that they sell it, it is meant to be sold as paltry violence. Interesting. It's meant to be sold as, it's meant to be presented as paltry violence. Almost like cutesy, the way they use it as a slogan, you know, punch Nazis. This comic book character says punch Nazis. Betty Boop says punch Nazis. It is, it was always going to graduate into, hey, take a sniper rifle and take your granddad's hunting rifle. Oh, that bastard. That bastard. Anyway, it was always going to graduate into, oh, that's cute. That's real cute. You know what? In that case, fuck it. You guys are going to build here is where you're going to build. I'm going to sacrifice. Yep. Yep. That's what I thought. That's what I fucking thought. I need to lock in real quick. I can give you a much better answer after this, you know. I apologize for killing quite a few of these guys, even though it's not, you know, what you would call the best. You see, so sometimes you you know, you know. The one thing that makes me think it might not have been targeted is that a bunch of people were shot, but he may have just targeted her and said, fuck it, why not shoot everyone else? Well, I mean, if she was in a group of other young Republicans, then that would explain it quite a bit. Excuse me. You see, he has the same play style as me, literally the same fucking play style. The difference being that he is not gonna have everything that he wants and needs. Okay. You fucking idiot! Get out of there! Get out of there, you dummy! Oh boy. You know what? Mute block. Try to make sure I do that to everybody. That was, we had the same strat. He just he just implemented a little bit better than me because he had more units, he had more villagers up front. What I was gonna say is regard like with attack like I might as well start over from the beginning because I was so all over the place with that. But um when it comes to the Brown University shooting, it is unsurprising to me, assuming that it was a targeted attack, because, and this is something that we talked about years ago in activism, and I'm not saying we're visionaries or that like we had some kind of clairvoyant or like omniscient understanding of the world. Like any moron could have seen this coming. Uh, if you want to silence your political, I almost said foes and opponents. If you want to silence your political opponents, you don't do so by punching them. That's a real cutesy little thing that the left was doing for a long time, and it was the reason they were doing that was as a way to radicalize them towards violence even more. It was a slow nudge where they were saying punch Nazis, punch Nazis, punch Nazis, Betty Boop. Rocco's Modern Life says punch Nazis. That's what they were doing for years. It was never just going to end there because at the end of the day, punching somebody does not get them to shut up. If anything, it makes them angry and it gets them to dig their heels in deeper. Their ego is now a part of the equation, and because of that, they're just going to get louder, if anything. It was always going to end up with political assassinations. Now, if this was a political assassination, is what I should say. I don't know who the other guy was. I don't know if he was also a member of the Young Republicans or if he was a leadership role in the Young Republicans, which I believe the girl who died is. I don't know if he was. I don't know if he was just friends with her, therefore some kind of weird guilt by association. I don't know what the deal with that is. I couldn't tell you. Now, Flota, I believe it was, he said, the one thing that makes me think it might not have been targeted is that a bunch of people were shot, but he may have just targeted her and said, fuck it, why not shoot everyone else? Um, well, if this was in the middle of some kind of like Young Republicans meetup, or if the shooter considered it to be a Young Republicans meetup, if he thought it was, then he may have said, fuck it, like I'm taking as many of them with me as possible. Now, the thing that kind of tells me this was a targeted attack of some kind is that usually when people do these kinds of attacks and it's not just like a targeted thing, it's just a general nihilistic I'm dying for this reason or that reason. I hate the world. I hate the world. Nobody understands me. Life is pain. When it's one of those things, usually the people will go down either in a blaze of glory, or they will turn the gun on themselves, or there will be some kind of situation where they do the shooting and then the police arrive and they are still on scene. It's been multiple days since the actual incident occurred, and we still don't know who the hell the shooter is. We couldn't tell you. We don't know. Uh, Rhode Island State Police and the Providence Police are both like scratching their heads, like, oh fuck, oh shit, who's this? What's going on here? And who knows who's gonna get brought in and when? We have no clue. It kind of is actually reminiscent of the Tyler Robinson situation. Now, he didn't shoot multiple people, but he may have had a different mode of thought going into it all, right? His main concern was getting Charlie Kirk. That was a big target. So getting Charlie Kirk would be like shooting the general of the army in the first place. That's something that they will. I'm not saying that Tyler Robinson was some kind of like military sniper guy. That's not what he was. But they will teach you if you go to sniping school. I don't know what they call it in the army, but they will tell you, look, if you see a group of soldiers, try to find the one that is the highest rank and take him out, because it's going to sow confusion among everybody else. And I think that's probably the situation with Tyler Robinson. Was he took out Charlie Kirk. He didn't need to take anyone else out. He made a big enough wave. He got himself and his friends a propaganda victory that was so huge nobody else even needed to be taken care of in his mind. So it wouldn't surprise me if this person knew, okay, well, this is no Charlie Kirk. Why don't I see how many of them I can get? It would not surprise me if that's the case. Did you see they wiped that Palestinian activists page? Yes, I did, and that is very interesting because some of the videos, and more so the stills from the videos, the screenshots that I've seen, kind of, vaguely kind of sort of look like that person. Kind of just vaguely, kind of sort of. And it's yeah, you know. I don't have a side in that whole thing going on in the Middle East. I could tell you who I think the good guy, quote unquote. There's really no good guys necessarily in the war in Ukraine. But I have a side that I think is better overall. I think both sides are equally as shitty in what's going on in the Middle East. I think it's just they're all dog shit. They all suck, you know. Um, eh, so like I'm not gonna be one of those guys who's like, you see, it's anti-Semitism that did it. I'm not gonna be one of those guys. It wasn't anti-Semitism. The right, including Republicans, were called anti-Semites for years and years and years. It only became cool to be an anti-Semite because that's what a lot of people on the left are. It only became okay to become an anti-Semite when they equated Israel to a white state that was trying to colonize a brown state. That's how they get away in their minds with being anti-Israel. And like being the way that they are towards Israel and Jews in general at this point is they say, well, Jews are white and Palestinians are brown. Um, so this is just another classic case of white supremacy. That's quite literally that's how they are. That's how they view it. It's disgusting. What's going on, Joe Butt Slasher? How you doing, man? Uh, and then there was the Rob Reiner stabbing thing. It's not as interesting because it's obvious his son did it. Yeah. It's unfortunate when something like that happens. I think it's important we as Christians, we don't mock and we don't laugh, but also we don't have to cry. I don't think you as a Christian have to cry either. I wish Rob Reiner didn't get murdered. He did though. I don't know what to tell you. Shit. Fuck, man. What do you want? You know? Fuck like fuck the guy. I wish he didn't get murdered, but fuck him. My thoughts and opinions on Rob Reiner are the exact same thoughts and opinions that the average shit lib had on Charlie Kirk, which was, well, he was hateful. He was hateful, and he was a bigot, and he said hateful and bigoted things. but he didn't deserve to die. I don't think he should have been shot for it. Yeah, you just supported the people who would fucking do that to him for the last 10 years. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. That is one thing that I think people on Twitter are getting correct when it comes to these like annoying Twitter pundits that fucking suck is you shouldn't cry when your enemy dies, you know? Specifically someone like that. You should not, you know? They're not crying for you. They're not even saying, "Whoa, whoa, hey, let's pump the brakes." They're paying lip service to the idea so that they can try their best to cool everybody's jets so that you don't turn around and start doing it to them, which of course you should not. You should not do that kind of thing to them. But what it is that it's like it's like if I thought I was going to knock you out in one punch, so I sucker punch you, and then after I don't knock you out, I go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, hey, 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 let's talk about this. We can talk about this. Hey, can't we just talk about this?" That's quite literally what they're doing. That's what all of those people meant when they said, "Hey, Charlie Kirk said hateful things, but he didn't deserve to get shot." That's what they meant, you know. So yeah, you should not cry for Rob Reiner. Fucking the guy was a millionaire. What was he, an actor or writer or something like that? The only thing I know Rob Reiner from was from South Park. I binge watched every season of South Park for like 2 to 3 months. You know, that's all I had on the TV because I didn't know what else to watch. And I remember the Rob Reiner tobacco episode. I do remember that. Excuse me. That's the only way I know Rob Reiner. You know. But yeah. So whatever. Like, wish he didn't die. Wish that didn't happen to him. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. But also, he was an enemy. So I wish he could have seen the light. I wish he could have seen the light in time. And I hope God has mercy on him. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna be, well, he was a fucking asshole and he was a piece of shit, but like I don't think he deserved to get stabbed to death by his son. Yeah, no, fuck it, fuck that. I'm not Rita Poon. I'm Rob Reiner, and you've just been Reinered. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I remember that one. He pretended to be a woman in the episode to try and infiltrate Big Tobacco. But yeah, Floaty, he was in South Park. If you type in South Park Rob Reiner, you'll see him. Excuse me. But yeah, just like I said, you can ignore it all and it doesn't matter that much. It is happening in the background. It plays as much of a role in your life as you want it to, up to a certain point. If America devolved into civil war, yeah, it would play a pretty big part in your life. But as of right now, things are pretty fucking stable. You know, it's just the surface is bubbling, and the surface has been bubbling for years. And you can hang out in the surface and be like, "Whoa, it's hot up here. It's hot up here." Or you can dive deeper, or you can hop out even, and you can realize that it's not that big of a deal and you can just live your life and do your thing and you will not be bothered by it. You know? Fucking. But yeah, like, one thing that you do have to keep in mind, even with all that, is that not everybody deserves your tears. And your sympathy doesn't require action or even words. Your sympathy can just be, "Oh man, that sucks. Anyway, back to my life." That's enough sympathy for somebody like that. It's simple. I really want Jake Paul to win this weekend. That'd be so funny. That would be really funny. He wins by knockout. That would be the best. I would love the fuck out of that. Jake Paul victory by KO. on Anthony Joshua. You know, um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't know. You know, we'll see what happens. And in fact, I forgot the Paul Joshua thing is this weekend. Is it Friday or Saturday? We're gonna stream for that because we have to. You know, I believe it's on Netflix too. If it's on Netflix, that makes it even better. I was so mad the last UFC stream I did. I was so fucking upset, dude. That was really frustrating that I couldn't get my stream shit to work. But luckily next year we're not gonna have to worry about that because I have Paramount, you know, so I'll be able to see the numbered UFC cards, and those are the only ones that I really care about like that. Um, I'll be honest with you guys, it's been a minute since I streamed. I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it the whole 2 hours, you know. But we are a little bit over a minute away from being 2 hours into this stream. I'm not saying I'm leaving right this second. I'm just saying, like, oh, I didn't even think I'd make it this far. I thought I'd like shit the bed and be like, all right, guys, honestly, I think I'm out of here. But you know, if Jake Paul knocked out Joshua, the Tariq Nasheeds of the world would go on a generational rampage, and that's always a good thing when the Tariq Nasheeds of the world go on a fucking rampage. You know, there's there's no one skeevier than a Tariq Nasheed, or like I forget what his real name is, but people used to call him Talcum X Sean King. The Sean Kings and the Tariq Nasheeds of the world. There is no better there's no better person to have that happen to than them. You can say whatever you want about like you can say whatever you want about like white racists and stuff like that, and I mean like the meme like skinhead in the year 2025 wanna be like national socialist movement guys like trailer trash Nazis have more honor and dignity in their fucking left pinky than someone like Tariq Nasheed does. He is a textbook case of a race grifter who you even if you were black, you could not trust him with your wallet and maybe even your kids. There's something about him. I feel like he's the kind of guy he'd be like, "Hey yo, shawty, how old is you? How old is you?" And the girl would be like, I'm 15." And he'd be like, "Shit. It's good enough for R. Kelly. It's good enough for my ass. Shit." I really feel like he strikes me as that kind of guy. And that is one thing that you see from like those black nationalist influencers is that they are always the most low down, ignorant, feigning intelligence, feigning dignity, um untrustworthy, just the worst kind of guys of any kind of racist out there. They are just the absolute like worst. You know, you can say what you want about like you know the 2025 Klan guy. You can say whatever you want about that kind of guy, right? Yeah, those guys are dumb in their own way too. But at the very least, baked into their like philosophy is supposed to be like we're honorable. There's no honor among them, you know? That actually brings me to something interesting that I learned. You know why when you search prison gang, you only ever see Mexicans, Mexican and white gangs typically? Uh, I'm not saying you never see anything like you know former black guerrilla family member gets out because for one thing whites and Mexicans are a lot more organized in the prisons, and the black gangs, the blacks don't actually have the same code of conduct in prisons that the white gangs and the Mexican gangs do. It's like this was crazy to learn about, right? Like we think we know about prisons, but like really we know about white and Mexican gangs that are inside of the prison system, you know? Like they don't beat chomos off the yard. They don't. If you're a rapist, they don't beat you up. They don't make your life hell. Especially if you raped a white girl, they're like you'll get pats on the back. It's crazy. It's crazy. Black racism is the most hateful thing you've ever seen. It is insane, you know. But the reason I bring that up is because like it reminds me of Tariq Nasheed, and Tariq Nasheed reminds me of those facts that I learned. Is that like he's just there is no honor baked into him, you know, and that's why like I can't stand that shit, you know. He needs to wash his ass. What's going on, Helmet Ear? Um, just talking about Tariq Nasheed. I this was my favorite thing about Tariq Nasheed. Hold on one sec. Fucking sorry, I was looking at fucking some shit that I saw, but why is it showing me Denver communists? Why would I want to know about that? Actually, I've been looking up North Korea, and I've been looking up North Korea stuff, and um I've been looking up what's it called? Um yeah, I've been looking up Soviet Union stuff. So maybe it thinks I'm a fucking whatever it's called. You know, maybe it thinks I'm a commie. Damn, there used to be another fucking there used to be another fucking hold on. Let me whatever.
We about to dedicate this one to all the G's that's been putting in work over all these years. We got love for all you niggas out there in the streets, in the county, but we about to put it down for the Sea Riders in particular.
Oh wait, no. Fuck. That's not even damn. That's not even the one that I wanted to see. Damn, they fucking they scrubbed Tariq Nasheed's Wash Yo Ass. I mean, maybe
The Nazis live in Antarctica under the ice, and black people help them get there. And in the end, I have to say that it is indeed a great thing that the black nationalists of America, the
I just want to see if it plays a little bit of it, right? I want to see if it plays a little bit of it, right? Ah, dude, no. There was a song that Tariq Nasheed made, right, years ago. It was called Wash Yo Ass, and it was the worst. It was the worst thing you've ever heard. And it seems like it got scrubbed off YouTube. He probably smartly he probably did the smart thing, and he probably fucking had it copyright claimed or copyright struck to take it down. That was really intelligent on his part, because that was the worst fucking rap that you've ever seen. And it's so clear. It's one of those things where he tried to be a rapper and it didn't work, and he's like, fuck, I can't get a real job. Oh shit. Unrelated, but this I really like this I really like this song right here. Rock Yo Hips by Crime Mob. That's one of the it's one of the classics of that era, in my opinion. But um anyway, it's a little bit after 2 hours. I got to do some other stuff. All right. thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a little bit under a week since I streamed, and I wasn't sure what or how it was gonna go. What it was gonna be like, how it was gonna go. I don't think this was bad. I don't think it was bad. I'm a little rusty. But I should be streaming Friday and Saturday this week. Okay. Thank you everybody who tuned in. Thank you everybody who's here right now. And I will update you on what is going on with that fight on whether it's Saturday or Sunday. And I'll update you in general. No, wait, just 5 more hours, please, dude. I would easily stream 8 hours a day if I could financially just damn. I would easily do that if I could financially. I have to burp and I have hiccups. I would easily I would stream 12-hour days if it came down to it, because why not? I could get away with it, but I just couldn't. We had a good run. I made a little bit of money. I'm not gonna lie. I made a little bit of money off of this YouTube thing, through donations and through other things like that. Like ad revenue. I made a little bit of money. I did. So thank you everybody who supported me over the years. But I think the years of me making money that can go towards something is probably over. I monetized this stream basically just out of habit. I would consider myself lucky if I made 10 cents off of that. I like to say, careful with that thumbnail though. What thumbnail? What are you talking about, Joe Butt Slasher? I'm confused. Oh, hold on. Let me let's see what the thumbnail is. This is the thumbnail I have right now. I mean, unless you're trying to say something, that might get used for something. But yeah, I have a never say never attitude. It's better to expect the worst but hope for the best. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow I figure it all out and I'm able to pull in tons of viewers and stuff like that, and those viewers want to give me money all the time, and I get ad revenue like a motherfucker and stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe I stumble into something that is life changing and I just become Mr. YouTuber, and that's just my life from now on. Who knows? But yeah, I don't have high hopes. It is what it is. You never know where you're gonna be tomorrow. But also, one moment. You never know where you're gonna be tomorrow, but you'd have a pretty good idea. I'm thankful. I'm grateful for everybody who stuck around. Any negative feelings I have, it's sadness more so than anger, where it's oh man, I don't want to look back in anger at anyone or anything. There's people that I was nice to that really didn't deserve my kindness. They treated me poorly. That's not pointed at anyone in particular. I'm just talking about in general. That is one thing that happened with Fish Tank, for instance, right? There was a lot of ass kissing from people who came around until they realized that oh, Scott is on the same level as me where he doesn't really know anything and he's just kind of doing what he's told. And then the ass kissing kind of stopped, which I'm not someone who appreciates ass kissing, but I'm just saying, I was kind to those people the entire way through, people who were just unfair to me, that I allowed them to be unfair. There's things that I definitely look back at and I'm fuck that, fuck you. But I'm not gonna let that be my attitude overall. I just want to be thankful. I want to be grateful. And I don't know. Hopefully, Blood Games 2 happens. That'd probably be my last hurrah, and then I'd just like move on, you know. But I mean, hey, we'll see how it fucking goes. I don't know. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'm gonna head on out. I will see you next time. Thank you, Juan Guzman, for the $2. There's something different. Did you change rooms? I changed apartments. I moved in like May of this year. I had to get out of the old place. It was getting too expensive, and the neighbors were too fucking ridiculous. But again, thank you so much for the $2, Mr. Gooseman. I appreciate you. All right, I appreciate you above all. You know that. Fuck everybody else. I only appreciate Juan. I only appreciate him now. No, but thank you one last time. All right. Till next time. Peace out.